Solid. Okay, so I played James Rizzitano, and the only thing you have to know about James Rizzitano is he's older than me, and I knew him in the 80s. I would hang out with him, 85 US Open in Hollywood, Florida. And I haven't seen Rizzitano since the 80s. He basically stopped playing chess forever. Then he started playing like 1 or 2 tournaments a year like 7 or 8 years ago. And I haven't seen him at the tournaments. I haven't been there. So he very rarely plays, and he didn't play for many years. And he was an IM. He was a strong IM. He was one of the 5 best IMs in the US when he was at his peak. Then he just totally quit. Now he's older than me. He's back. Tanned, rested, and ready. I've never played him before, even though we've played many tournaments in the 80s together. We just never played. Etc. Okay, so this was a QGD, like my other games. And I already had this position earlier in the tournament. And I've already given I've gone over the game that I played, my first game, where my opponent played c6 and knight d7, which is the main line. My opponent played dc4. He prepared this for the Queen's Gambit decline to play this way. I've never faced dc4, so I was, I didn't know. Karpov drew it pretty easily against Kasparov in this position in one of their matches in the 80s. So the idea is he's either going to play knight d7 and e5 or knight d7 and c5, but he can't play knight d7 now because I'll win a pawn on d5 because it blocks the queen. So this pawn is just hanging. Now, if you want to play c5, it seems silly to play c6, then knight d7, then takes, then c5, because you're playing c6, then c5. So that's, when you play d takes c4, that indicates he's going to play for c5. He doesn't want to waste a tempo with c6. And he did. And so forth. So white's a tiny bit better, and black is just really solid. Black has the 2 bishops, but his bishop on c8 is not very good. Typical Queen's Gambit stuff. Okay, I played bishop b3, which is not a move. Queen e2 is the main move, it turns out. When they play a6, b5, I don't want my bishop to be here. And also, if he trades on d4 and plays knight b6 attacking my bishop, then knight d5, I don't want my bishop here. Turns out, unbeknownst to me, when Kasparov has white in this opening, which he's had more than once in the 80s, he wasn't taking with the pawn, which is standard practice in the Queen's Gambit. He was always taking with the knight. He's getting these opposite bishop endings that he was either going to win or draw. Drew Karpov and beat some other GM that I've barely heard of. Okay, so bishop b3 is the first inaccuracy. I can play knight e4. I can play queen e2. Okay, and he took, and I took with the pawn. And again, Kasparov doesn't play ED in this particular variation, which is normally, what you do in Queen's Gambits is you want this isolated pawn, so you're threatening to play d5 later, and you have these squares e5 and c5 for your knights. And if you have too symmetrical a position, black has the 2 bishops, there's no reason to suspect that white's better. Yeah, the engine already hates white's position because I played bishop b3, which was completely useless, just losing another tempo. So bishop b3, back to the drawing board. I'll have to play something different next time I have this position, but this position here seems fine. Okay, so I took with the pawn, and he played b6 to play bishop b7 and complete his development. I played queen e2. He played bishop b7. And I played rook d1. Engine's not too thrilled with rook d1 either. It says it's okay. It says everything's equal already. Already I have nothing. Rook e8. So rook e8 is inaccurate, but it doesn't matter because the position's so equal. I thought I was better because his knight on d7 doesn't have a future. And he can't go to c5, can't go to e5, can't go to f6, can't go to b6. So I thought his knight's pretty stupid, and I could try to play knight e5. And I saw another idea that was available now that he's played rook e8, is I could try to get one of my knights, when I say one of them, this one, to d6 or c7, because he let me, he hooked me up. So rook e8 might be inaccurate. So I played knight b5, and he thought a long time, because I have a couple threats now. And he has to play bishop a6, I think. And in this position, I thought my next move was like sort of obvious. And the engine's like, boo, boo, you suck. That's the version of the engine that I have, the one that tells you suck. It doesn't like the move I played. I played a4, which I thought was just an obvious move. Defending my knight and making my queen available to move away if necessary. But the engine says it's too slow and I should play something that does more. So it likes bishop c4 better, knight e5 better, bishop a4. It doesn't like a4 at all. He played knight f8. And this is the funny thing. In this position, after he played knight f8, I played bishop c4, and I totally missed rook e7 I didn't care about. Rook e7's fine. I totally missed when he played rook e7 what his next move was. I just totally forgot about it. And I forgot about it because he couldn't play it the last two moves. So this is another problem with my old age and bad chess playing, is I would never miss this move, when I was younger, but it doesn't matter. I don't have an advantage anyway. It's just a stupid mistake from my perspective. But in this position, he just wants to put his bishop back on b7, which wasn't the case the last couple of moves because my knight was coming in. But by playing knight f8 and rook e7, he defended d6 and c7. So I can't do that anymore. So when I played the move knight e5, which is the best move, I didn't know what he would do about this. I thought maybe rook c8. I thought my knight's good. This knight's good. He's very passive. His rook on e7 is weird. And he just immediately played bishop e7. And I went, oh, yeah. I totally didn't see that coming. If I did see it coming, it doesn't really change anything. It's just I feel stupid. How did I not see that? Stopping knight c6. Okay, so I went back to c3 because my knight's not doing anything here. And one idea is to play bishop a6 and trade the bishops, and then I can try to infiltrate on the white squares here, knight b5, knight c6, etc. Played rook c8. And I thought a long time about a lot of moves, like f4, bishop a6. I didn't really like anything. And I was calculating variations, you'll think this is funny, where my back rank is weak, where we're trading things, and then, he gets me on the back rank. So I played h3. That way, I didn't know what he would do. I'm like, okay, your move. It's a waiting move. And I get luffed, control the g4 square more. And the engine surprises me here. It actually prefers black after trading on e5 and giving me the d6 square because my knight's going to come into d6. And the engine likes black here, which I don't super understand. When I say it likes black, it thinks black's a little bit better. But he's unisolating my pawn. That's a word. And he's giving me the d6 square and getting rid of the two bishops. I didn't seriously think about that move. He played bishop g5 attacking my rook. And I was like, that's fine. I went here because I played a4 already. And then when he went back, it's an implicit draw offer. I'll give you guys a minute to look up implicit. Delicious. And, because we can just repeat now. And I didn't see anything better. And the engine agrees. I didn't see what I could do to go forward. It was the morning round. Tournament's almost over. I didn't really mind a draw. And, back when I was younger, if I have white against a lower rated player, I'm playing until it's king versus king. I'm not ever giving a draw to anybody. But that's not who I am now. You know, getting tired during the tournament. I felt tired during a lot of my games because I'm not used to playing 3, 4, 5 hour games. I'm used to playing the 3-minute games. So now I have to play accurately and not blunder and so forth. Anyway, irrespective of whether it's going to be a draw or not, the position is equal. All engines say everything's all zeros. He has the 2 bishops, and I have an isolated pawn. Those are the things in his favor. But he's a bit passive. My pieces are more aggressively posted. So I decided, yeah, all right. And I played rook c1 and offered a draw, which immediately was accepted. Otherwise, we could have repeated. Always repeat. And the rook seems better on c1 than a1. So reasonable move anyway. Delicious. Rufus was better in his peak than Doofus. That's for sure. I can get the queen to g3. Then why'd I do that? I don't really have any squares to infiltrate to. And I have some issues, like my isolated pawn, etc. Got to be careful here. I need my queen to protect my bishop or move my bishop away before going here for some reason. Not sure why I'm going there. Somebody has to go there. Etc. Rook on a1, the best square on the board. That way I can set up for the next game. Can you go back to bishop b3? Well, I mean, a lot of moves are better than this. It's either going to be knight e4 or queen e2. Queen e2 is just to play the way I did, but not play bishop b3 for no reason. And knight e4 is just to, put pressure here. Both of those moves are better than bishop b3. I mean, bishop b3 is not a horrible move. It's just inaccurate. It doesn't, he's not trying to play a6, b5, bishop b7. He's not trying to play knight b6, knight d5. So he just took and played b6, bishop b7. So then this move just loses a tempo. It's not a position where what move you make matters very much. But at the higher level, you want to play as accurately as possible. At your level, whoever you are, you just want to not hang a piece every move. Like you guys would be like, I want my queen on g3, which I don't know why you want your queen on g3. So you play queen e3 and the guy takes this and you lose your bishop. Although after pawn takes attacking the queen, you don't. Yay. So actually your idea is great. Except for one thing. Jude NYC is ringing with a party of 52. I saw Jude at the tournament. Hey Jude, this is my round 8 game. This is the final position. Yeah, Jude was playing in the tournament at Foxwoods. He won his last game in 30 hours. He actually had a birthday during the game. That's how long the game was. Yeah, Jude had a rook and pawn ending, which he won. Which you could have watched live. Thanks for the raid, Jude. That would be good if I could hang pieces. They don't notice it. I like that too. Happens in Blitz a lot. Tuesday's green subscribed. Good, good. Hey, Jude, take a bad position and make it better. The minute you have under 5 minutes, then you begin to stop keeping notation. You actually have to keep notation in Foxwoods, even if you have less than 5 minutes, because there's a 30-second increment. But thanks for the reference, Tuesday's green. Good, good. That's the greenest. All right, we got one more game to look at. Round 9, my 8th game. Thus far, I have 2 wins, 1 loss, and 4 draws. Solid. I do not give lessons, unless it's in comedy.